A couple of years ago, yeah, several years ago actually, I got this phone case. I'm actually recording with my phone now. I got this phone case. That was in 2012. Yeah, 2012. Now, when I got this phone case, it was new, of course, and this phone case has served me really well because it has kept my phone from deteriorating quite fast. But then, this case, after almost 6 years of good service to me, is now having some has some wear and tears. There, you have these cracks here, you have this one there, and all that. So it's old. Now I want to get a new one. I have three options since I want to get a new one. I can throw this away. Yeah, seeing the thing. Yeah, that might be a good option. Another option is actually giving it to someone. All right. So I have to find someone that has my same model of telephone and then tell the person, okay, you can have this. I don't think it's a nice option actually, because the person might not want this, all right? Because I'm just giving an example. Another option is actually to sell this. Now, when I bought this, it was 15 naira. Okay. After 6 years, and with all the signs of usage all over it, I wouldn't expect to sell it 15 naira. All right. So I would want to sell it 5 naira. All right. 10 naira. Yeah, 5 naira seems more reasonable. So I will sell it. I want to sell it 5 naira. For me to sell it, I need to go search for someone who has my model of telephone and who needs this. All right. Who needs this? And who doesn't want to spend money on a new one, doesn't want to spend the 15 naira but wants to spend 5 naira to get this one and just use it, and all that because he's still serving. Now, I just give an example, and yeah, for now, I'm not selling it. So that's by the way. From the instance that I gave, I wanted to draw something from it. And what is that? Do you have something at home that you are not making use of? It might be something that is fairly used, something that is not, maybe not even used at all. All right. For example, someone got a TV set, and then when you got home, it's not the one that you needed actually. And then you used it for 1, 2 times, and then you just kept it, they repackaged it and kept it by the side. All right. And maybe you lost the receipt and so you can't take it back. Or someone got, let me say, some books that you thought you were really so interested and nice because you've heard about it and so you got the something. And after, when you got home, you read a page, 2 pages, or maybe you read, some chapters and discovered that it was not really what you wanted. And so you don't want to return it, but at the same time, you don't need it. So you just kept it there. You bought a camera stand, and then the camera stand didn't match the way you wanted it. And you can't return it. Maybe you bought it from, you bought it from outside Nigeria, and you can't return the product again. Or stuff like that. All right. We all have things, I think. We all have things at home, home appliances, electronic gadgets, books, wares, things that are fairly used or, yeah, relatively new that you would want to, get disposed of, but you don't have any means of doing that. Now, what if I told you that there is someone somewhere who has need of those things which you have, right? Those things that are in your possession at the moment, they have need of them, but they don't know that you have them. Somewhere, someone who is even living, in your neighborhood, who is living 2 blocks away from you, and needs, those things that you have, but those things that you have, but doesn't know that you have them. A number of months ago, when this idea came to me, I decided to ask some friends around and ask them this question that I asked you. And they told me, yes, of course, that they have 1 or 2 things with them that they don't actually need. And I told them, what if I created an opportunity whereby you will get to meet someone who needs that, and you give the person the something, you will sell it. because the only other option is either giving it to someone, just free, that which is something good. All right, there is no problem with that. And that option is throwing it away. Now, if you throw something away, that's a waste. If you give it to somebody, that's okay. But if you want to make 2 naira, 3 naira from the something, that's also a nice idea. So I want to create a place whereby you can display those goods that you have, and someone can actually come there, search, and find that there is something that you have which he needs, and both of you could meet, and then the person will give you some money, and then you hand the item to the person. So that was what I was thinking about, and I decided I'm going to share the idea with us. Now, there are several things. Like I said, I wrote down a number of things here so that when I'm talking, I will know how to navigate my way and things to say and things not to say, something like that. Yeah. So I wrote down some things here. So we have several things that we don't need. TV sets, washing machines, like home appliances. In general, we have electronic gadgets. Some people have phones that they have used for just 1 month and then they want to sell it, right? People have tablets, people have computers that they would want to, sell. They don't want to, they're not necessary again, they're not useful for them, right? And then several things, books, all right? People have books. Now, for example, some of us are about to enter the university. Some of us are in the university. Some of us have finished the university or higher institution in general. Some of us are done with school. And you know that, most of us would want to keep our books. But deep down in your mind, you know that there are some books that actually wouldn't be necessary, keeping. All right. There's no need keeping those books. All right. For example, during your first year, and you did some kind of general courses and all that in second year, third year, fourth year, even depending on how long, your this thing lasted, the duration of your study. All right. So in the first years of studies, you did some general courses. Now, some of those textbooks might not be things that will necessarily serve you in the field that you are now into. All right. Some textbooks, of course, definitely you should keep them because they will help you. You keep revising the stuffs when you have need. Consult them and then refresh your memory. While some of them you don't actually need them. Now, what some of us do is we pack those things and then we'll go home and say, okay, we're going to have a nice library where we're going to keep the books and then we're going to be reading them. Our children will read them, our grandchildren will read them, our great-grandchildren will see what their great-grandparents, studied in school several decades ago. That's wonderful. But then most times it doesn't end that way because those books, because of poor care, they end up, being consumed by parasites on that in the house, and before you know it, one page will fly off, this one will be here, this one will be there, and the whole thing gets destroyed. Now, some of those books, you can actually give them to somebody. And you can also sell them to someone. And besides the things that are fairly used, there are also things that are new, right? I mean, if you go to Facebook and Instagram and so many other places, you find people that actually write good piece, right? They have nice essays and all that, fictions and all that they write. And those things are nice. And a number of them are actually writers, right? Not all of them, of course, but some people are actually writers. And then they write these books, but they don't have someone who either will publish it for them, or even when they find someone who publishes for them, who publishes something for them, they don't make as much money because those books are displayed on the counters, in the shelves and all that. And so they are not, they don't make so much money because they only get to sell when someone comes in and then he's looking at the whole thing, looking at the shelves, and eventually sees the book. Oh, can I see this book? And then looks at it, opens the first page, second page. Okay, it might be interesting. Let me buy it. And so they don't get the kind of adverts, all right? They don't reach a wide audience because those books are just being sold that way. So you have those kind of things. Besides that, you also have people that are into fashion, all right, who do some kind of wonderful stuffs, all right, with African materials. They design, whether it is the hats, the blouse, the skates, the pants, the pair of trousers, they design those things and then design the t-shirts. They use those materials to design those things, and then you see the pictures online. Those people, they market, among the friends they have online on Facebook or the ones they have offline, their neighbors, their friends around. They just keep calling them, but they don't make so much because they don't have a wide audience that is actually actually sees their products and is interested in buying stuff. And make no mistake about it, there are some people who are staying abroad who actually want things that are done in Nigeria. All right, they don't want all the suits and ties all the time. All right, they don't want reading all the fictions, of other cultures all the time. Of course, they read those things, but they would want to have some kind of the traditional feeling, that African fictions, give. They want to have those kind of traditional wears, traditional shoes, the hats, the shirts and all that. What we call the up and down, those kind of things. So they want to have those kind of wears, but they can't readily find them. I know that as you are watching the something now, yeah, some people are excited, some others are saying, no, I'm not really interested. Now, among those people that are excited, one thing that happens is that may happen is after watching this video, you go out and then you are thinking about it. The next thing that comes up is, you begin to see all the difficulties. Our mind has a way of tricking us, all right? Has a way of, bringing up 1,001 reasons why what you want to do is not going to work. And if you're a Nigerian like myself and then you stay in Nigeria, you see that you won't have 1,001 reasons why you shouldn't do something. You're going to have 1,000,001 reasons why you shouldn't do that. Or if you allow yourself to be overcome by those thoughts, you'll be paralyzed. Your mind can bring up such things, but you shouldn't allow that, to overshadow the ideas that you want to, go ahead to achieve. I believe that our biggest challenges here, our biggest problems and difficulties could actually become our greatest opportunities, our greatest room, for improvement, for expansion, for growth. So don't allow the difficulties to, press you down and you're not able to do anything again. So let's get to it. The first thing that I would want you to do actually is this. You need to go and research, okay? You need to go and read. You need to go and study, read the stories of people that have gone through this way. Okay, so the story of Amazon, the story of Alibaba and all that, Jeff Bezos, his story. He's the founder of Amazon. So you go read all those things. One thing that will help you to do is this, like, it will help you really well because when you know those stories, it will help you to know how those people got the ideas, of course, but how they started, what they started with, all right? You will know the mistakes that they made so that you don't repeat those mistakes that they made. You will know a number of things that will save you lots of time and stress, because when you know what they did and what they know now, what they would have done differently, you will build on their knowledge, all right? You will build on their experience. You will build on their experience. Okay, so it is very important to read about that. In fact, when I saw when I had this idea and then I talked with a couple of my friends, I decided to go and check out the Nigerian online stores, online markets, online retail shops. Okay, I had known about Amazon a little bit. I had known about Alibaba. Okay, I had known about eBay and all that. But I was like, what about we in Nigeria? What do we have? Okay, so I began to search, and I saw that there were so many stores and that are doing fantastically well, that are doing really well. Okay, but I was also more interested in the figures. Okay, I was more interested in how much that moves around the Nigerian online shopping, online markets, and all that. And I saw this thing on the Buzz Nigeria. I think it's a website for I don't know what, maybe Nigerian news and stuff like that. But then I saw this article there, and they cited a report by Philips Consulting. Now that says that online shopping in Nigeria records about 1.3 billion naira worth of transactions monthly. All right, 1.3 billion naira monthly transactions, and not less than 500 orders are placed in a day with each retailer nationwide. Now that's so much money. All right, 1.3 billion worth of transactions monthly, that's much. And then 500 orders with each retailer nationwide, that is much. And then there was something else again that I saw here. It says that in the last 2 years, I think this is an article of 2017. Yeah, I think so. This should be an article of 2017. Now, it said that in the last 2 years, that investors put a whooping sum of over 205 billion naira into the e-commerce industry in Nigeria. All right, investors, like they invested above, all right, over 205 billion naira into the industry. Now, investors don't throw their money just that way. All right, investors invest when they say that there is a prospect, there is a good chance that something is going to succeed, whether it's in the long run or in the mid-term or in the short term. All right, when they see that, okay, in the short term this is going to work, or in the mid-term this is going to work, or in the long term this is going to work, they put in their money. So investing up to 205 billion naira into the e-commerce industry shows that it is something that has a good prospect of success, has a good chance of succeeding, and so they invested into that. Now I went for that, and I saw that on Thisdaylive. All right, I saw this article that should be in August, August 2017. So it's very recent, and it says that currently, all right, the Nigerian e-commerce market, all right, is valued at $13 billion at the moment. The value is $13 billion. That is around 4.01 trillion naira. That's huge, right? That's massive, as some people would say. That's huge, all right? 4.1 trillion naira, all right? $13 billion. That's the value today. And then experts in the Nigerian financial service sector have estimated that Nigeria's e-commerce market value could rise to $50 billion over the next decade. All right, $50 billion over the next. That is from 13 to 50. All right, in the next 10 years. All right, that is around 15.45 trillion naira. That is beyond massive now. Okay, now so if this is when I saw this, I now understood the reason why you have so many investors, all right? Or you have investors that are putting so many billions of naira into this, because they know this is the next big thing, all right, that will be coming up. And so when I saw that, I mean, that made me to think, and I said that somebody could do this, all right? A number of those shops that you see online, they sell mostly things that are new and all that. They have their own shops on the markets, but the market is still open. I remember that the population that we have, Nigeria has well over 180 million, all right, 190 million, even 200 million people. Now, the purchasing power might not be the same as that of the people that are in Europe, or the Europeans, and then the ones in North America. Yeah, the purchasing power might not be the same, but then in these 180 million people, you will agree with me that you will have several millions, of people that are spending money. If not, you would. I mean, the worth, like at the moment, wouldn't be 13 $1 billion at the moment. People are spending, people are going into that, people are doing fantastic things. So why can't somebody do that? All right, it must not be that you have a knowledge of computer science or computer engineering and all whatnot. Right? If it's something that you want to do, you have to prepare yourself. So that's why I said you have to study first. Okay, you have to research. You have to know the people who are doing it, how they started, what they did, what are the steps. All right, so that you don't make the mistakes that they made, and so that your own growth, will be faster than theirs. So that is one. Then two is you have to plan a project. Okay, what is it that you want to do? Right? There are some people, I think Amazon started with selling books. All right, if I'm not making a mistake. Yeah, it started with just selling books. Now, you want to know which area, right? In what area do I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on African wears, the hats, the clothes, the blouse, whatever? Is it what I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on wristwatches, and all other things? Do I want to focus on shoes? Or do I want to focus on a multiple of, 2 or 3 things at the same time? Do I want to focus on home appliances? Do I want to focus on everything that has to do with, fairly used and, new ones? Do I want to focus on everything? Just kind of do everything and later be specific, later concentrate on one thing and one thing only. So you have to develop a project. That is very important, because without a project, you wouldn't even be able to find investors. You need to have a project of what you want to do. And then before you develop a project too, let me chip in this. You have to know the Nigerian market. Although, yeah, more or less, human needs are the same, right? Everywhere. But then when you study Nigerian markets, you will know that there are some things that are specific to the Nigerian market, and there are, how will I say, there are some things that people demand more in Nigeria. People are willing to buy more, are willing to purchase more compared to other things. So when you know that, you'll be able to organize yourself on, the area that you want to go into. Now, when you have your project, you need to plan on how to fulfill the project, right? You need to plan that, and that is very important. All right. I'm not saying that you will have to, draw a business plan that is going to take you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years to, to draw the business plan. No, you can do something in 4 months, in 3 months, you can draw a business plan, but it's very important. You need to plan, what am I going to do? When am I going to achieve this set objective? The projects are broken them down. What will I do today? What will I do tomorrow? What will I do in the next 2 months, in the next 3, and all that? Kind of, you have everything planned out. And one thing I would want you to include in your plan is your strategy of talking to people. All right, that is very important. All right, talking to people. Now, you're going to talk to people both online and offline, beginning with your family, beginning with your friends. It's a kind of market survey. So while you are talking to them, you are getting feedback. Yeah, you get to know how they do their purchases and how they sell the stuffs. And then you also tell them that, what do you think about an avenue, having a platform where people beyond the place where you live, beyond your state, beyond your region, beyond even the country, are able to see the things that your handiwork, the things that you are doing. So you begin to talk to them that way. It is very important that you do this, because you will be able to talk to people who are your potential clients tomorrow. So you tell those you meet the people and tell them, okay, I want to provide you an avenue whereby you can come in, and you're able to sell those stuffs. Begin to talk to them, right? That is very, very important. In that way, you are doing a kind of market survey already. So it is important that you begin to talk to people, talk to friends, talk to family members, and all that. Yeah, I know that discouragements will come. I will talk about that later, but that's not the main focus now. You kind of talk to these people, And when you talk to them, you'll be able to, get some feedback and everything. Now, as you're doing that, one thing that an area that I would want you to, an area that I would want you to focus on while you are doing those that survey, asking people and all that, is the university. All right, university, okay, higher institutions in general, all right, whether colleges of education, whether polytechnics, young people, all right, let me say it that way. Yeah, young people, they were the ones that were up to the 30s and all that. Young people actually need a lot. Maybe not. They want a lot. Okay? They want so much. Now, so they are the ones that spend so much. Okay? The ones that spend so much in getting things that they don't need. And so after using those things maybe for a month or less, they're just tired of the whole thing and they want to, throw it away. Now, when you talk to them and tell them that there is a way that you can, free yourself of these things and get some change from it. So go to universities, go to colleges of education, go to polytechnics, go to everywhere, talking to people, all right? Try to make them know that there is something like this. Try to create an expectation in their hearts that I am going to launch something like this. So you start talking to them, you begin to gather people who are your potential clients. Yes, because by the time that the website will be launched, you want that it's not when it is launched, you start doing the publicity, all right, the adverts. And then for 1 month, for 2 months and all that, there is nothing. Nobody has registered. Nobody has, uploaded anything online and all that. And so you begin to get discouraged. No, begin to do that even before the website is created. So as you are doing that, which is going to take you quite some time, you also begin to find out how a website like that operates. Okay? Like I told you, you read about all these people, how they did it and how they started. You're going to talk about some of us don't know so much about computer, don't know so much about website designs, domain names, server, site location, all those kind of stuffs. I mean, they sound somehow to us. All right, we don't know that, myself inclusive. All right, it's not my field. And okay, let me say it at this point. All right, I'm not an economist. All right, I studied economics here in secondary school, but I'm not an economist. I didn't do anything relating to marketing and stuffs like that. These are just ideas that that I have, and I want to share it with you, and maybe it might benefit somebody. So I'm not in no way a computer engineer, a website designer and all that, but I know that there are things that you need to know for you to kind of operate in these kind of places. So you want to go find out from people that know about it. You want to go ask them, how can I have a website like this? How can I structure it? How can I design it? How can it be done? And all that. What will it take me? How much will it cost? How long will it take you to do it? And all that. Begin to find out information. Ask people, ask your friends. You might have friends that are computer engineers, who are website designers, who are involved in graphics. I mean, you have friends like that. Or maybe you listening to me too. I mean, that's what you've been doing. That's what you studied in the university. That's what you studied in school. Or that's not even, you didn't study that in the university, but you know how to do it. Now, come on. You begin to prepare yourself. I saw a picture, I think that was of Jeff Bezos. Yeah, that Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, when they began. I mean, it was the things that they began with were so rudimentary. Right? They used things that were so, check it up yourself. All right? So you begin to ask for that. Now, I'm not saying that your website must be like that of Amazon. All right? Or eBay. All right? All these big people. All right? You start with something that is relatively good. And then with time, you will make it to be nice and, perfected. People who were purchasing things from Amazon like 10 years ago, all right, the website wasn't the way it is now. Right? The way it is now is so much better compared to then. And then you have so many products now. The delivery system is better now, and everything is so much different, so much improved. But that was not the way it was, several years ago. So you start with something, ask questions, and be able to know how much it's going to cost you. Now, this brings me to the next point. The next point is actually saving. All right, you have to save. Okay, if you're going to start something like that, except maybe you have the money already, who knows? That's good. If you have the money already, that's good. But if you don't have the money already, you can begin to save. All right, cut off all the excesses in your life. Right, cut off all the things that you don't need, all the things that cut them off. Cut them off and begin to concentrate, all right, on saving money. You can save for 6 months. You can save for 1 year, all right, and tell yourself that by January 2019, I would have saved so much that I will have the money to start this. I will have the money to do some publicity. I will have the money to, do some kind of things and even put some products there myself. Okay, so you begin to save, put the coins, together and everything, and the notes, all right, put them together and begin to save. That is very, very important because without saving, you can't start it. All right, you might not readily find investors immediately. Something that happens with small businesses sometimes. Sometimes you have to be the one, or most times, not even sometimes. You have to be the one to start the project, all right, to finance the project, all right. You put in some money, you put in some 100,000 naira, you put in some 200,000 naira, you put in some 50,000 naira, depending on the cost. Put in some 200,000 and all that naira, and you're putting in all that money. Now, by the time the something picks up and there is some kind of growth, you begin to experience some kind of things, and then you now go to an investor and present your plan, your business plan. Present what you've been able to achieve in the last 6 months, in the last 1 year. All right, you present that. By the time you present that, some people will say, "Yeah, I finance your project. I finance your dream." Right? This idea is nice that you already has become concrete. I put money into it. I put 1 billion naira. That would be wonderful. All right. I put in 1 billion. I put in 2 billion. All right, into this project. But first of all, you started something yourself. So it is very important that you begin to save. All right. So by the time you've made inquiries of the website, you made inquiries of how much it takes to publicize something and all that, you begin to save. All right. Don't quit your job, of course. You don't quit your job immediately. If you have one, you don't quit the job immediately because, you've not started getting some money, but you continue working on the job and saving some money. Continue doing the business that you are doing and saving some money and still talking to people. All right. Talking to your potential clients, writing down your project, drawing your plans, making the inquiries, making the market survey. You begin to do all those kind of things while you are still working on your job and making some savings. Now, one or two things I wanted to say on the website. I visited some of the website, the online store. Some of them are good, some are not. All right, you wouldn't want to have a website whereby somebody goes in and then he will see all kinds of adverts there. It's just so much jam-packed and everything. Okay, and the person goes in, you want to click something, before you know it directs you somewhere else, and it takes you so far away from the thing that you want to do. You don't want that. If your website is so much clustered with adverts from this and that because you want to make money immediately from Google AdSense and all those kind of things, and so because of that you allow adverts to fill everywhere. If you do that, people are going to run away from your website. Once they visit something the first time and see that they can't even find their way around your website, they will just desert the place. They will leave the place. So you won't be able to get a lot of traffic in your website, and that will make you that after 3 months or 4 months, you are discouraged, and then you pack up and that's all. So you don't want to do that. So you want to have a website that is user friendly. Yeah, that someone can go in and he sees a place where it is clear, register here, log in, All right, we had to put in your email address, we had to put in your telephone number, we had to put in the city where you reside or the state where you are. We had to put in all those details, and in security. I mean, you have all those things that are there, well, nice and arranged. Somebody can browse with the phone, because that not every one of us, has a computer. So somebody can browse with his phone, and with the phone, it will be nice. If you can, even you can develop an application that somebody can download the app from the various stores that you have, and the person can use it. So do something that is user friendly, something that can be accessible with the telephone, something that doesn't have so much adverts from places. The money, you are going to make the money later, all right? But just make the something to be nice, make the something to be well accessible, and all that. And then as you are doing this, if you have a friend who is like-minded, all right, who shares the same vision with you, you can, co-opt him or her, right? You can bring the person to join you, all right? Whether there are one or two persons, since you are starting, one or two persons, and two of you are doing it as your part-time work. One person is taking care of the website and all that. The other person is taking care of the publicity, the adverts and all that. And two of you are managing the something, slowly, gradually, where you reply the customers. You have all those little things that are important, that are good, that a customer would want, that your potential client, whether as a seller or as a buyer, would want to have in the place. All right. I hope I'm not forgetting anything that I wrote. After, I will take a picture of the things that I wrote down. All right. I will take pictures of them, and then they will be in the video. So you start doing that, and you will see that things will work out fine. Now, on how you will make your gain, I know that that's what you might be thinking now. How do I make my money? What about, okay, the money I spent on the website, the money I spent on the adverts, I spent on printing the flyers and pasting around the universities, talking to people, the money I spent on transport. How am I going to get the money? Now, get my money back, make my profits. Yeah, I know. Like I told you when I did the first video, on the cocoa production, on the chocolate production. Some things take time. No, not some things. Most things, all right, take time. To achieve success in business, in almost all areas, they take time. All right. If you want to just come in here and, you come in here, hit a jackpot, 1 month, and you have 10 million naira, and then you can close it and go your way. It's not going to work out. You will get discouraged after 1 month, after 2 months, and if something is not working, you'll just, pack your computer, pack everything, and just go your way. No. Things take time. To achieve success takes time. So you need patience. The Bible says that you have need of patience, that after you have done a good work, to receive your reward. All right? So you need to calm down, all right, and be consistent. All right, don't do it today and leave it tomorrow and come back after 10 months. No, do it consistently. Every day, try to add something. Every day, talk to somebody. Every day, find out information. Every day, read interviews of these men who have made it. Read their stories. Every day, try to fan the fire. Try to find the idea that you have. So you continue to do all of that every day. So be consistent and be patient for the results. I read a quote a few days ago. It says that time is that thing that keeps everything from happening at once. All right? Time is that thing that keeps everything from happening at once. Okay? Some people say it's from Albert Einstein. Some others say it's from John Archibald. I don't know where it is from. The most important thing is the quotes. All right? Time makes things to happen with time. Okay? I mean, things don't all happen at once. All right? Time is that thing that just keeps ticking. Okay? You can't stop it. You can't take it back. You can't fast forward it. All right? It just goes at its own pace. A second is always a second. And it's always that way. All right? Not so fast. Not so slow. You can't take it back. You can't fast forward it. It's just that way. And I think it's very nice that way, because if all the things happen at once, I mean, life would be terrible. Like, imagine if all the bad things that had happened to you all your years, you are 30 now, you are 40 now, or you're in your 20s now. Imagine if all those things, happen to you all at once. I mean, you wouldn't be here. You won't be watching this video because they will crush you. All right. On the other hand, if all the good things came to you at once, you won't be able to handle it. All right. So things take time. So you have need of patience, so that after you have done this good work and put in all these efforts, that you will receive your reward. I paraphrased the Bible. Now, so that is very important. Now, on the money. Now, as the business begins to grow, of course, you know that at the beginning, you're the one who's doing all the adverts yourself. You're the one who's getting all the sellers and buyers and doing all the things yourself. Now, when people begin to see that your website is nice, they're able to sell, and they're able to buy, they're able to contact someone who lives in Sulere, and then they just walk down. Okay, not walk down, actually. They go from Ikeja to the person, and they meet the person, and they see the item, and it is good, and they paid it cheaper than they would have gotten it at the shops. They will be happy, and they will talk to their friends, and they will also come back to buy more things from your website. All right. And so, or somebody is living in Kano and then saw something in Abuja, all right, that he wants or that she wants, and then say, okay, let me get this thing, and then saw the something and talked with and contacted the seller. They spoke over the phone, and the item arrived, and the seller got his money in the bank, and everything was good. I mean, they will be excited, and they want to come back again to shop. They want to talk to their friends. They want to talk to their parents or their siblings or their kids and all that. And then people who are staying outside, you publicize the something, and they see it online, and they go there and find out things, and they will say, okay, when I come back this December, I'm going to place an order while I'm on my way. So they place an order, and once they touch down, they go get their items without waiting endlessly, for the clothes, to be sewn, for the handbag there and all that. They just have it because they saw it. Or some Nigerian stories, I don't know. Some people think that, people just want to read, foreign novels or some Nigerian stories. Okay, they want to read that. All right, they can stay here and purchase this something. All right, so all these things, by the time the business begins to grow, people begin to advertise for you, right? So don't spend so much money in trying to go to radio stations, try to go to television stations. That's going to cost you a lot, all right? Spend much time and effort in getting a good website. Spend much time and effort in trying to get a good customer care. Try to make this something to be nice, and then if it is one customer that comes in, one client you have, or two or three or four, try to service them well. Gradually, all right, something will begin to spread, will begin to, touch other people, and they will begin to come into the place. You can advertise on Facebook, you can advertise on Twitter, you can advertise on Instagram and any other social media. So you have the Twitter, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, and any other thing that you find. Just keep advertising, just keep pushing the things there and getting people to come in. So when they come in, one is when the traffic to your store, all right, increases, you are going to have companies, all right, that will come because they want to place a banner on your website. You're going to have people writing you, please, whether they are banks or other companies. I want to place place an advert on your website because I see that there are so many people that are visiting your website, and so you begin to have those kind of things. All right, you begin to have those kind of things. So So as time goes on, you might actually differentiate the sellers in classes, right? You have the premium class whereby the sellers come in, they sell their new products. They could be phones, household appliances, whatever, television sets, tablets, computers, books, their new stuffs. And then they are differentiated into this kind of class. Okay, you have the premium class, whereby these sellers, they will have to pay you to display their products on your website. Okay, so from the money that they make, depending on the kind of contract you have with them, they pay you something. Okay, they pay you something from the money that they make, from the goods that they display on your website. So you could have that. While some other people will still have to, they will still continue to display their fairly used things on your website. They will continue to do that without problems. But these ones that are in the premium class, of course, they will be on the front page. All right, they will be on the front page of your website. That once you open your website, they will be the ones that are there, always there, and they could pay to have to be on the front page for 3 months, for 4 months, for 6 months. They will just be there. While the other people are arranged, chronologically, that they just come in. If you put your thing there, you have some people who are putting there, so your own just keeps going down and down to the next page and all that. But on that front page will always be the people that's paid for that premium, membership or premium class that you have there. And so that will earn you so much money too. Now, besides that, it will get to a point, okay, because that's my prayer for you. It will get to a point whereby you are actually be the one doing the retailing yourself. That is, you can go to these people that actually are the manufacturers, right? The people that they do the designs, the clothes, the shoes, the wristwatches, the handbags, and all other stuffs. And then you buy from them, you sell on your website. Or you can actually begin to produce your own. You or have your own, clothing line. You have your own bags. You have your own phones. You have your own computers. You have your own anything at all that you want to do. You have your own shoes. You produce yours. All right. And then you sell them on your website. Now, this is at that stage. Of course, while you are doing all the things, beginning right from the beginning, you will also be selling things on your own website so that there's something can be good. You can buy things and sell them there. So this is a way, all right, that you do something and you are happy with yourself. You are fulfilled having done something good, and the people around you, okay, are well taken care of. And then you also take care of other people. You have workers, you have people who are managing their websites, taking care of customer care, who are taking care of the sellers, who are there, who are just doing so many things. You might have up to 20 people or 30 people, depending on how many things you are into. And so you are taking care of so many people and taking care of yourself. So this is something that is nice. But like I said, they take time. All right. So that is why you need patience. That's why you don't need to be, be in a hurry. Like I said in the previous video, these things take time. All right. Jeff Bezos, began, I think that was in 1994 or so. Now, last year, he made so much money. Like so much money. If I'm not making a mistake, he should be the richest person now. Above Bill Gates. I'm not so sure now, but he made so much money last year. Now, that is 24 years ago that he began. And look at where he is. But when he started, he was not like this. When he started, you should look at the whole thing. Try to watch their interviews. Try to read the interviews they have released. You will read their stories, and that will encourage you a lot, and that will make you, to have patience and know that to succeed in something takes time. All right, you need to keep doing what you want to do, going from one failure to another failure, from one loss to another loss, from crying to another cries, and all that and all that and all that, until you begin to see something coming in, and that's in a good quantity. So it's very nice. It's very important that you continue to be patient. So don't ever be discouraged. Don't allow parents to discourage you. Don't allow friends to discourage you. Don't allow siblings to discourage you. Now, your parents, your friends, your siblings, of course, they're not witches or wizards. All right. It's not as though they're telling you don't do this because they don't want you to succeed. No. I mean, our parents, our family members, our friends, a number of times they give us counsel because, of course, they love us. All right. They don't want us to, make mistakes. They don't want us to keep failing. They don't want us to waste our time on useless things. Yeah, that's good. But then, when you have an idea that you want to pursue, when you have something that you want to do, that you are convinced within you that is going to lead to success, pursue it. All right? Chase it. Don't allow anybody to discourage you. Someone said something that you can't lead the orchestra unless you turn your back on the crowd. What does that mean? You sometimes you have to be alone with your dream, right? You have to be alone with your vision. I will talk about it in a separate video. You have to focus on what you want to do and just go doing it, putting your efforts, putting your time, putting in your resources into achieving that goal without allowing all the noise around you, to suppress that inner, voice that is trying to come up in you. All right. You don't allow those noise to distract you. So listen to counsels from good people, good word, from people, friends, and all that, but you don't take everything. All right, you know what you want to pursue, and you go ahead and pursue it. And the last thing that I want to say, like I said in the last video, is the place of God. All right, the Bible says something. It says, "Commit your way into the hands of the Lord, and He's going to make your thoughts, your plans, your projects to be established." All right, that is extremely important. The place of prayers. You want to go into something, you want to ask God, please go with me, please lead me, please direct me. The Bible also say that trust in the Lord with all your heart and don't lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He is going to direct your paths. All right, so don't be there, saying, I want to do it, I want to do it. No, of course you want to do it. It is nice. Pray at the beginning, pray during the whole process, pray when the profits begin to come in. Just keep God always in the front of whatever you want to do, and you will see that there's something is going to succeed. Yeah, He's going to be with you through all the times of Christ. He's a friend that never leaves you. Right? When you are going to fail, when you are going to be crying, when you are going to be weeping because you are going to go from one failure to another. I mean, when you look at those interviews that I talked to you about, maybe I might put some links down in this video. When you look at all those things, you will see that those people, they failed and failed and failed. And of course, you don't hear their failures. All right? You hear the successes that I have made, but you don't hear all the times that they failed. You don't hear all the times that Edison failed. You don't hear all of those times that Jeff Bezos failed. You don't hear all those things. What you hear is how many times and all the times that they succeeded. And so when you succeed, all those failures will no longer be there. You're going to become a success story. And then when you begin to tell your story of how you began and the things you went through, people are going to be amazed. And you're going to inspire millions and millions of people all over the place. All right? I'm going to stop here. The video has taken so long, but I needed to explain some things now. So next time I'm going to be talking about something that is really, really interesting.